There we go. All right. Welcome everyone. Um, it is May 1st. Hey, oh, we got two chats already. It is May 1st, 2024. I'm here with my good friend Owen.
Friends.
Uh, yes, my name's Carlos, and yeah, we're going to talk about markets today. Seems to be a lot of FUD in the markets at the moment, and I think we need to not like shit our pants, you know?
What out
Uh,
to the storm?
yeah. Um, so let me tell you what we have in store for today. Pull up my notes right here. We have the charts open up already. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about we're going to break down what the Fed said today real quick because we have to. We're going to look at the total crypto market cap. We're going to see what's possible because I think that's something that's a little bearish in my opinion. Sorry, a little bullish in my opinion. My bad. We're going to look at the regulars, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the SPY, and stablecoin dominance because I think that's kind of important to look at, especially now. We're going to look at a couple of other reasons to be bullish, and we're also going to look at Tesla because I am looking to buy some more if it drops a little more. And
And because you're paid off.
no, no. I am just think it's a good stock long term. But yeah, let's begin. So FOMC. Uh, let me let's pull up what the Fed talked about. So basically, what happened? We had before going into today's FOMC. Okay, by the way, you do you know in general what happens during an FOMC?
Oh, no, please enlighten me.
Okay, so the federal bank basically talks about what their next move for like changing or maintaining interest rates. Um, and like they also talk about the economy and stuff, but that's kind of like the main focus of the meeting is just to see if the Fed like increased rates, dropped rates, remain, made kept them the same, and like what do they say for an outlook, which can change from meeting to meeting, but basically the as we can see here, pretty much the Fed didn't decrease rates as people were hoping for. They said that they're gonna probably it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. However, they did state that an increase of rates is probably unlikely, which in my opinion makes sense. But we probably shouldn't expect any rate decreases anytime soon. Um,
As soon as soon, like,
well, I think people were expecting. Well, remember, so like the expectation beforehand from the Fed was that there were going to be three interest rate cuts at some point this year. That's kind of what they were like targeting. But now they're just kind of like, yeah, we're not going to cut anytime soon. But that
see.
doesn't mean that they're not going to cut soon. It's just, they're probably because inflation is still a little bit higher than what people would have wanted it to be. And there's a lot of, in my opinion, FUD in the market. Um, and other like macroeconomical factors are kind of just uncertain. I think,
Just pushing it off.
yeah, like I think, like they want to in my opinion, like they probably want to like wait on this for as long as possible, and ideally they just want to see inflation numbers go down. But I actually have some points to talk about for that later. But yeah, pretty much that's kind of what happened with the interest rates. Um, I think that we're probably gonna like markets are probably gonna recover at some point in the next few weeks. Because usually that's kind of what happens to the anticipation of rate cuts, and especially given now that we're probably going to have at least a few more weeks to months before the any cuts actually begin, if we even get any this year, because there's a chance we might not. Um, Markets are probably going to do okay for let's say like I want to say like if I had to say okay like until when our market's going to be fine before like any kind of like sizable correction, like probably late summer to like maybe even a little bit after that. And I'm going to show a couple things. So that's the first thing. So we talked about the Fed. Now, let me move my notes over here. Now I want to look at the total crypto market cap. Let me switch. So total crypto market cap, it's sitting right now at 2.1 trillion. We're looking at it on the weekly chart right now. And just look at this. This is a big trend line that I've drawn from all the way until, what is this? December 2018. I'm ignoring, oh wait, actually, sorry, let me delete this. Let me delete all
I was
this.
gonna say that thing you're about to
Yeah.
say you're ignoring is exactly what I want to ask about.
No. Like I don't know why. I had done this earlier.
Dip?
No. Like just wanted to add something here real quick.
Okay.
But yeah, so here. So this is the COVID-19
Okay.
like dip. That's why
Yeah.
this is like real savage dump here. And this is kind of a black swan event, so charting wise you can ignore it, and like I've seen a lot of people ignore it, and I like in terms of like drawing trend lines and stuff over it, and I'm okay with doing that too. So
Okay.
right now just kind of drawing trend lines to kind of see where we're going. And now let's draw Fibonacci retracement lines. So yeah, let's draw
The tool music.
Hmm?
Said Q tool music.
I swear. Big and lateralis. But yeah, so right now, this and have you seen this before, by the way, like Fib the Fib retracement tool? Basically, you can, there's like a way to calculate like different levels using Fibonacci like numbers, and you can calculate like potential levels either for price increase or for price decrease based on a high and a low. The actual calculation, I don't know it off the top of my head, but like it's a very common tool to use. And right now, level number 1 would be like from where you've retraced from. And then you expect things to, the way I drew it, you expect things to go higher. So like the next 2 levels are the 1.618, which would be around $7.2 trillion. And then the next level after that would be 30 trillion and a half. Realistically, we can probably expect the market cap to go towards the 1.618 level. Expecting this level is probably something more of a maybe like next bull market, unless things get real heated for a long time. But realistically, we could probably expect the price to probably go up, to somewhere, I would say somewhere between the $5 and $7 trillion level, which right now we're sitting at 2.1 trillion, and like Bitcoin's market cap just by itself is expected to reach anywhere between 3 and 4 trillion. Like I think we can easily do $4+ trillion in terms of the total crypto market cap. Let me go back to total.
It's going to be the driving force for that.
So I think the driving forces are already here. I just think that they need time to ramp up. What do I mean by that? So I think it was 2 days ago, a day or two ago or something like that, the Hong Kong ETF went live.
Mhm.
And I think there was also an Ethereum ETF that also started alongside with that. I'm not, don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. But I know for a fact that Bitcoin ETF did start, which funny enough, I thought Chinese customers would be able to buy, but it doesn't seem like they can. Although I'm sure people with enough money can. But sounds like the average the average Joe can't buy from this ETF, even though it's in Hong Kong and stuff. But I just thought that was interesting. But yeah, basically we have this Hong Kong ETF that started. We have the US ETFs that have already been going on for, I think it's like over 50 days at this point. And even though right now they just started having outflows, that's normal. Like this is why like market's dumping and like people are scared, people are panic selling. We're right in the middle of the bull market, just after the halving. Things are uncertain, like gold and DXY are up. Actually, we should look at them, because I haven't looked at them recently, but they were up both, which usually on the short term signals to like potential uncertainty. and what the fuck's going on. Because I mean, people either buy gold, you know, as an inflation hedge or like protection against like disasters or wars or whatever. But then also like people are also moving to the dollar, which, you know, it's just interesting to see happen at the same time. Not only that, I mean, you've seen the headlines, like it's in general, like if when you at least when I open my YouTube feed, like every feed refresh, there's at least like one video of like, oh, things are super bearish, or like the stock's, you know, going down, like Tesla's going to 120, or Tesla's going to $80 or whatever, you know, like stuff like that. Yeah, I forgot where I was going with this, but that's pretty much the crypto market, the total market cap. Right now, yes, we are under this 0.786 level, but I think we're probably gonna recover from here. Let me show you another chart. This is, I think I've shown you this chart before, but I can explain it again for yes. So this is, if you look up here, it's the USDT dominance plus the USDC dominance plus the DAI dominance. So these are the three top stable coins in crypto. And usually when I've seen a lot of people look at just USDT, but you can, I like to add these three because, you know, like they're the biggest ones. Either way, you can look at USDT by itself or these three combined. I just like to look at this one. We've been in a downtrend since, what is this? June of 2022. Hold up. Yeah, we've been in a downtrend since June of 2022. And also we've been in a more prolonged, like, or I guess more pronounced downtrend since what is it, September of 2023, which is roughly when prices started climbing up. I want to say like a little, you know, for like the first leg of the bull market, basically like the pre-halving pump, you could say. And you know, we can clearly see this playing out here. So like, you know, around September, this like basically started chopping down, and then it just basically went down, you know, people going under risk, as you can see that in Bitcoin's price, and also like the fact that shit like maybe meme coins, like, you know, like went off the rails and stuff like that, and AI coins also pumped really hard, probably following like trickle down effects from like Nvidia stock like pumping super hard. So yeah, we had like a little pause here from like January until, I mean, it's not even a pause, but like, you know, like things basically didn't go up for like almost a month. This is when, you know, we can see that stable coins rose a little bit, and then they just went down again. And in my opinion, this established like a downward slope. And right now we are testing that again. We went to, you know, we're peaking above it. I'm kind of just waiting for this to close to see if we're either gonna open above it and then just keep going up. Because if we do keep going up, then things might look a little bad for like a few more weeks probably. Maybe we'll go to like the 8% or even the 8.5% region, but I don't think so. I think right now we're probably near whatever the bounce point is, and if that does hold, then, you know, you should see this chart start to go down again, as, you know, following this little thing that I've drawn here, and kind of just like in general, I think we're gonna follow this arc right here, up until like probably somewhere in the low 4% range.
We seen like a similar kind of trend this style before, after having in the past?
Yeah, so actually, if you remember, the last bull market was when we had like that weird double top. Let me make sure this is in log. Yeah, we had like that weird double top. So here you can see that so this was the halving. We actually didn't do a whole lot for, holy shit, this was May 2020 up until roughly like October 2020. So a few months, like a good few months, I mean, things went up for like a few months. They stayed up for a little bit, then they corrected down a little bit for like, what was this, like from 1 month to another. and then we just kind of started going up indiscriminately. In general, we didn't dump like aggressively or anything, but you know, it just didn't do a whole lot either. Like it was just like up, a little down, up, a little down, you know, like so yeah, like right here, October 2020, you know, stable coins just went down and prices went up aggressively. As we chopped, you know, when we reached like really close to the top, we did like stable coins just chopped for like a long time. And like I feel like knowing what we know now, if we see something like this happen, you know, like if we see it, for example, like not confirming a direction in any, you know, in any kind of direction for like, what is this? Date range. Let's see. What is this? Like 119 days. So like let's say, you know, like it bottomed out here. So like we probably could have looked at it from here. And let's say, you know, like this was like a little bit before. So like let's say 70 days. So basically more than a little over 2 months after like bottoming of like not going up or down, just kind of ranging. So I feel like if we see something like that going forward in the next you know, like in the next few weeks to months, you know, we could probably look at history and see if it rhymes.
Okay.
But yeah, we saw the same thing here. Things corrected for like a good, you know, like we had this like stupid break in the bull market where, you know, a lot of bad actors were present, and like it's said that like this bull market's potential was probably capped because of that. So here, you know, stablecoins went up and like prices went down. And then pretty much as we climbed back up to make that new very weak top, things went, you know, stablecoins went down again. But the interesting thing, which again we can now talk about it in hindsight, is that we reached the top, like a higher high, but we didn't make a lower low in the stablecoins, meaning that people didn't get out of Bitcoin, or not out of Bitcoin, like people didn't get out of risk as much, even though we established like a higher high, which now, you know, now we look at it in hindsight, basically can tell us that, okay, maybe it was time to get the fuck out of of the market at that point. But you know, hindsight is always 2020. So that is the stablecoin chart. Let me see what we're going to look at next. We're going to look at Bitcoin. We're going to look at Bitcoin. We're going to look at Bitcoin starting on the monthly chart. This is SPY. Let me pull up Bitcoin. And why are we looking at the Bitcoin chart in the monthly, Owen?
Why are we?
Because it's a new month. Yes, it's a new month.
Upon us.
A new month is upon us. Summer is coming, not winter. And I just wanted to look at this real quick. Pretty much RSI has been coming down. We made like a lower high from the, what was this? From the, do I have this in? Yeah. Yeah, we made like a lower high from, what is this, April 2021. Then we just kind of...
Just to make sure I know what I'm looking at here. What's the blue line?
The blue line is the RSI. My bad, I forgot to say. So this is RSI, and then this is the stochastic RSI. So like this one down here is like stochastic version of the RSI, and then this yellowish or orange line is kind of like it's like a moving average, so you can see what it's doing. But yeah, no, it's just interesting. Bitcoin had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 monthly, like green monthly candles, which is just very interesting. Like we haven't had too many periods of 7 straight monthly candles. So given that we are correcting, like I feel like people need to chill the fuck out in terms of not crying about this correction. Like just look at this. Just look at this. Like 23%.
That's huge.
That's nothing. That's nothing. Like we have seen way worse. Obviously, like we're at the point where this is getting like pretty like normal for like a bull market correction, you know, like anywhere between like 15 and like 25, I think is like pretty, you know, like a run of the mill correction. And then in my opinion, since I think there's a lot more money coming in to this bull market, and I think that we potentially might be breaking diminishing returns this bull market. Don't quote me on that, but like I think it might happen. Um, in order for that to happen, we're gonna have to see some pretty nasty corrections. And I think like we haven't even seen a minus 30 yet. So like that's like there's
What do you
so
think
many
is the nastiest we'd see?
the nastiest. I think we might see a minus 40 at some point. I honestly I wouldn't be surprised if after a few months, maybe whenever the Fed, maybe a little bit after the Fed cuts interest rates or something like that, we, you know, go into like a pretty broad market correction for maybe like a few months or a few weeks to a few months. You know, like I mean, we saw altcoins like shit their fucking pants during this last dip, and that we hadn't like broken through like 60K yet, and altcoins like I saw some altcoins dumped 60%. Like Pepe dumped 60%, for example.
And you told us to buy into that.
I mean, you know, in full disclosure, I do hold some Pepe. I hold a, you know, a minimal amount of Pepe on my portfolio, but yeah, basically, like I saw that shit go down to like minus 60. It's recovered a bit from that, but you know, like so, like altcoins took a big hit. Minus 23% right now. So that is right now the lowest that we touched roughly. We went to like 56K and like like yeah, like somewhere in the 56K range.
Basically, hold fast, stay strong, stoic,
Pretty
wait it
much.
out.
Pretty much. But yeah, like basically people need to chill. Like we had again, we're coming off 7 green monthly candles. Like what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. That's not 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not 7. I think there was one period. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. I mean, I guess if you don't count, this is technically 9, but this is also like 2010. Like like that barely counts. But yeah, like what I'm saying is like we did something pretty intense. Like we not only had like 7 full monthly candles of going up, we also put a new all-time high before halving, which is something we've never done before. So like we're just like I think Bitcoin's going into like slightly new territory. So like
You have,
I
sorry to interrupt, but do you
Mhm.
have any idea why those things happened?
I think it was just a matter of the ETFs, like the US ETFs, like bringing in a lot of inflows. That kind of added to the fact that we were already kind of starting that pre-having pumped. We had already bottomed at 15K, and there's also just been like the I know it doesn't feel like the narrative right now, but like at least the core narrative that in my opinion has been playing out at least from the beginning of this year, specifically, is that institutions want Bitcoin, and institutions are slowly getting into Bitcoin. Like pension funds are looking into getting into Bitcoin. Other countries are looking into getting into Bitcoin. Um, companies, some companies hold massive amounts of Bitcoin, and then a bunch of other companies are probably looking into, you know, snagging a little bit for themselves. Um, you know, like mining, like hash rate keeps going up, like the network keeps getting used. You know, miners are still mining, you know, like they're still putting in like millions of dollars of investments into that. Like it's this thing's still going. Um but yeah, like basically you got to put into perspective, you know, like we're looking at a monthly time frame, and you know, we've gone up pretty hard. Like it's okay to dump 20%. I think it might even be okay to dump a little more. I personally don't think we're going to dump that much more. Also, like by the way, RSI. So normally, for those that don't know, over 70 means like it's overbought, and like when it's under 30, it's like oversold. usually like when we look at things like Bitcoin and stuff, like there's so volatile that like saying that like, oh, RSI is like overbought or something like that, um doesn't matter as much. It's more of like a, oh, this is kind of where we're at. We want to look at other things too in combination. um the fact that it's just like, it's interesting, like the basically the RSI is back into like kind of a normal zone, and then the stochastic RSI is just coming down too, which is also just interesting. But yeah, we are now. Let's look at Bitcoin on the weekly chart. Oops. So this is actually a position that I like, a limit order that I have set on drift. And yeah, like that. Let me just give my rationale for this. I think this is unlikely. Like, by the way, like this is a long that I set up with a little bit of leverage, like 2x leverage. I don't recommend anyone using leverage unless you know what the fuck you're doing, or if you have like models and back tested stuff with data.
So yeah, this is someone speaking who has no idea what the fuck they're doing involving that. So
Yeah.
could you
So
give me
like,
like an explanation of what's going on here?
yeah. So basically, I have a long order set to execute at this price. So what is this price? It's 53,536. So like 53K and a half, basically. Um, I was actually I was gonna maybe put like an order somewhere around here, like in the low 50, mid 55K range, because that's so this is the daily chart, by the way. Um, this is the bull market support band. This is like the 20, what is it? It's the 20-week SMA, and then the 21-week EMA. And then this is the pi cycle top. Whoops. This is the pi cycle top indicator, like bottom line. So right now we've crossed. We're kind of under it. I think that if we go over from like when the serious pumps, or like the sustained like uptrend, I guess, started, and like you can see it also here with the gold line indicator, um, which is basically just like a combination of like moving averages as well. That kind of shows the trend. From this time onwards, so like from October of 2023, like last year, we had this like little local bottom here, and then we kind of kept going up again. So I drew like some trend lines here, and I think that the price is at least, I mean, we're already like reaching in here, so I think the price is probably going to, at the bare minimum, come down somewhere in this range, and like maybe like chop a little bit inside here. But if we look at it, if we zoom out a little bit more, so if we look at the weekly time frame, I just drew these lines as well, and I feel like this is, in my opinion, probably like a pretty worst case scenario. I think things are set up for a bounce right now. Especially, what is this, the 26-minute? Let's look at the 4-hour. Like 4-hour here, this looks this this looks wasted, like right now, like at the moment. Like wasted in the sense that like it's dumped enough. Like there's been mountain after mountain after mountain. This is, by the way, this is the Fu Manchu market cipher indicator, which is a combination of a bunch of things. But pretty much what this shows you, what we're looking at right now, is that the money flow has been red since what is this, like mid-April, and has been going down for like a bit. It looked like it was going to recover, and then it just kept going down since April 24, and it's been going down pretty hard on the 4-hour chart, at least. We just saw a green dot like form, so, and it's way past like the boundaries that they set here. So like that could be like one potential sign that like somewhere around here is like where we're gonna like bounce up. Again, not guaranteed, but just one little piece of information. If we look at the daily chart, if we also look at the Fu indicator, it still hasn't shown a green dot on the daily, which I do like to see a green dot on the daily, because 4-hour is probably a little too high time frame for like these dots to like mean much. It's just nice to see in terms of trading, but basically, like, I want to see a green dot here. So for example, the last time we saw a green dot was here when we we ripped through like 60, we touched like high 59Ks, and then we came back to 66K, which it doesn't look like a lot here, but I think this is pretty big move. You know, like it's like it was like $6,000 up. Like if you caught this bottom, even if you weren't using leverage, like you were up like 10% if you just like, you know, if you swang that.
Yeah.
So even though, yeah, like now we've retraced from there, you know, it was still a pretty good move. So like that's why I'm kind of just waiting to see when things finish dumping somewhere around
Could
here.
be a couple of months still, right?
I don't think so. I would think that I would think that at the bare minimum, like if like there's no like big catalysts, like let's say like the ETFs keep having like shitty inflows or hours or keep like or start doing more outflows, and like let's say that the Hong Kong ETFs like don't do that much, and like other, you know, like that there's not a like there's no like big news or anything happening. I just think that in general, like macroeconomic conditions are still just gonna get better. Like um which actually, I guess let's move on to the next thing that we were going to talk about, because it has to do with why I think like there's a bunch of reasons to be bullish on stuff.
Segway.
Segue. Let me change here.
Great as hell.
Well, my bad.
That's okay.
So I have three points here from like some of my research, aka some YouTube videos that I was watching. There's this video from Sasha Yanshin. Is it this one? Yeah. So he uploaded this video yesterday, and like you should go watch the video, obviously. But just to like, kind of summarize what he talked about is that if we look at ad revenues from like the big companies that do ads like Google, Pinterest, and others, um, over the last couple of quarters, they've been spending more and more money on ads, specifically like on YouTube and like on like Google search trends. It's like the one where you can see from like Google specifically on their like quarterly reports and stuff. And basically it's been positive. It's been a positive uptrend in terms of like money that companies are spending in like ads over almost like a year ago. And like this has kind of been a lagging sorry, not a lagging, like a leading indicator for companies doing better in the future. So that's one thing. Another thing, actually, another video from Sasha. Whoops, that's a horrible screenshot.
That was such a great
Let me not make
great
them.
snapshot of his face.
Let me not make the man look weird. Yeah. So he also, again, I don't want to go through all the things that you should definitely watch the video, but basically pointed out that there's a couple of the numbers that make up the inflation data that are probably going to go down soon, and like are probably inflated, and like or I guess like the reaction is probably a little bit too much. So like for example, like energy, like raw energy itself isn't like up. It's more like companies charging just like more money for it for seemingly no reason. Insurance companies are charging a fuck ton for cars, even though like stuff isn't like more expensive like it was during the pandemic. What else? Shelter, like stuff like housing prices hasn't come down fast, like, you know, like much, like too much. And this just kind of makes sense because it's a lagging indicator. Like prices went up pretty hard, like, you know, a few years ago, so that's just going to take some time to come down to reality.
Does that extend to like the rental market as well?
Yes, it does.
On a like a funny kind of personal note, so
Yeah.
like we're moving out soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've put the house back on the market for renting,
Yeah.
raised the price another $300
Whew.
for this place, which is just fucking crazy. It's already expensive,
Do you
and then
mind sharing how much you were paying?
yeah, it's 2,300 right now, so they're asking
So
2,600,
wow.
and like per month, and I just like I don't think anyone who's like going to school here, unless you're getting the place with a couple of friends, but even so, Newark has a law that you can't have more than three unrelated persons in a household together. So
Really?
yeah, yeah. There's been
Okay.
like one tour that has been requested since it went back on the market a couple weeks ago.
That's
I don't
weird.
think anyone gives a shit with that high of a price.
Damn. Well, actually, so you're this is like what I was talking about is Delaware. So, right?
Yes.
Um, yeah, New York, Delaware, and I'm in Massachusetts. I have friends that are that are currently paying $2,500 for a one-bedroom apartment in like Quincy. Not even like
Nice.
like basically kind of hard to Boston. It's like it's a really nice place. It's a really it's like right next to a train station, and it has all the amenities and whatnot. But it's $2,500 a month. Like it's nuts. It's just
It's only
nuts.
the 26 doesn't seem so bad, but I guess like for this area, 26
No, no,
is
no, no.
really
Yeah, obviously, like some areas are more expensive than others, but like still
yeah.
like it's expensive for everyone, pretty much.
Yes. I was kind of hoping they were gonna start taking it down a little. When are we gonna see that? When is something like that gonna happen?
Well, again, well, not again, but like Sasha, I think that does a great job of explaining it in his video. But basically, it just takes time for like shelter numbers to come down. Yeah, I don't want to like I want want people to watch the video, so like I'm not gonna give too much away. But basically, like inflation like is probably not that bad. It's kind of what the gist of that. Um, then I want to show two screenshots um from Invest Answers. Shared this chart right here, which is the Bitcoin realized loss from 1 week to a month. If I'm reading that right, basically we just had like a spike, pretty high spike, and that which usually corresponds to local bottoms. So that's one way you could look at that chart. And then what's the other timestamp? And then here, in terms of like old supply net position changes over the last like 30 days, like basically for like the last month, it went, it touched this peak, which usually corresponds to, like, as you can see here, like basically something's about to happen, probably. Like that's probably what this chart is telling you. So yeah, that was one thing to look at. And then let's go back to the charts now. Let me switch back here. I
I just can't get over the sentence. Something is about to happen, probably.
I guess yeah. I guess I didn't say shit, but
Yeah, but I am curious as to
I
what you're
I
thinking.
I take it as a bullish, like as a bullish thing.
Okay.
I am generally like I still remain bullish even though Bitcoin's like correcting. Um, there's one thing that I guess is also like I'll be transparent. Like there's one other thing that I think is a little bit concerning. Let me see where is it? Here. So this is global liquidity. So this line right here is global liquidity, and then this is the S&P 500. Basically, S&P 500 put a new all-time highs like in the last 2 months, pretty much, and like as of the last 2 months ago, and we're still pretty much high up there. Like even though it doesn't seem, it might seem like markets look bad and like the outlook is bad, we're up there. Like we're pretty high up there. We're even above the top that we had in December 2021. Will we revisit that? Maybe, but it would still be at like market highs. But like basically what I want you to look at is like the global liquidity has been just on a downtrend. It looks like it's probably going to spike up a little bit more. I think it'll probably like it's probably going to just chop for a little bit more. I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict what it's going to do. But basically like it doesn't look good. Like this is just one thing that I can definitely, I must admit that it just doesn't look very good. Market's going up while global liquidity isn't going up, because it's like, all right, what's pumping the markets, but having said that, just to be like totally fair, let's look at one more thing. How long have we been going for? By the way, we're going for 43 minutes. Nice. Let's talk about Tesla. Let's talk about Tesla. Let's look at Tesla
Been
on the
itching
daily.
for this moment.
Oof, right? Let's talk about Tesla. One of the, I think it's officially the worst performing stock of the S&P 500, which fuck yes, makes me just, I see blood on the streets, and that's when we buy stuff. So, let's look at this. This is the, which line is this? This is the 280. Yeah, 280 week moving average. So the reason I have this at 280 weeks instead of 300, which I've seen other people use 300. You can use 300. 300 is fine. Actually, let's use 300 for Tesla. I use 280 for Bitcoin, just to, so you guys know. But yeah, actually 300 looks a little better for Tesla, but pretty much.
Why do you use 280 for Bitcoin?
I guess let me show that first.
Track.
Let's go 280 for Bitcoin. Oops. Let me pull up Bitcoin. Basically, whoops. If we look at Bitcoin, so pretty much the best times to buy in history seem to be when we've gone under the 280 line. Yeah, pretty much. Let me go back as far as I can. Let me see if this one. Yep, perfect. So yeah, this is why so basically I moved it to 280 just so it could fit all these peaks. But pretty much starting from, what is this? August 2015, which I don't think I would. Yeah, I wasn't in crypto at the time. But yeah, so pretty much during this, this was a monster dump. So this was like from $258 all the way down to $161. So basically, people probably shit their pants at that point, and like, I would have understood. But yeah, we broke through this line. So basically, if you had just deployed your capital at this point, you'd be rich today, like very, very, very rich. We went up, and then literally the next time, I mean, I guess you could say that this was also like a pretty good level. It was lower than here, but let's ignore that for now. What was this? This was 2018. So this was, yeah, so this was, I think, the bottom of that bear market. Yeah. That would have also been a good time to buy, but according to this line, this would have been a good time to buy, and this would have been a fucking phenomenal time to buy, because it just went up straight. Like if you had just bought here, no leverage, 156% increase.
Been nice.
That would have been very nice. But yeah, so, and then if we come back all the way here, so you can play around with this line. I would, you could probably move it down a little more just to like remove these peaks. But basically, this period here where we were clearly, like, we broke through this line and we were clearly like under it, like it wasn't even resistance, like we just weren't going up towards it. This whole period, like all this, how long was this? You had 2 months. You had 2 months under this line to buy. Like under, like for the other two times, it was like maybe a few hours you had to buy. So that's kind of the reason why I have this line, and like I like to keep it around, at least for Bitcoin. Even here, like even if you missed all of this, and you just, you let this like pump, and you let it like rest a little bit, you could have gone back in here, and you would have been on the train, you know? You would have not missed it basically. So yeah, pretty much I'm keeping an eye on this line for the next bear market. Pretty much like I will probably at least like I'm gonna do my best to have the discipline to whenever I cash out to at least hold like a good 25 to 50% of like my capital for like whenever we get close to that line. And at least, at least like a good 10 to 20% for like only under that line, because I think it would be silly not to. Like, we've seen it happen. Obviously, we'll see where this line is like after like a year or so, because it's not time to be thinking about bear markets. But
Seems
yeah,
like
just
a pretty incredible tool, though.
yes, definitely something to keep in mind. Something that we'll play into things in the future. But yeah, let's go back to Tesla. Let's change this line back to the 300, because I believe 300 works a little better with Tesla. So we're gonna do the same thing we did for Bitcoin. We're gonna look at when these things have played out. So let me delete the whoops. Delete there. What?
Be deleting.
No, just like some markings I had made.
Okay.
Yeah, let me delete this too. And let me delete this too. There we go. So, okay, we don't have any more data from before here. Makes sense. This is 300 weeks. So yeah, here we went under the 300 week moving average, and then we actually turned it into kind of like a pretty long-term resistance while the trend was down. And this kind of makes sense, like if the daily trend on the golden line is down, especially if it's down super hard like this, and like the RSI, for example, like hadn't collapsed under like the oversold territory, and like this looked horrible. So like it makes sense that we went under this area, and wow, like this went from all the way from like $25 to $11. So that's a pretty big dump. But yeah, we held this line as resistance for, let's see how long this is. Roughly, wow. That's so much. 180 days. So 180 days we were like under this line. So let's go back here. Let's find the next time that we went under this line. Next time that we went under this line, it was a much briefer period. It was just a few days. Well, yeah, just a few days. And we didn't even stay under the line the whole time. We like kind of went around it. This was 13 days, so it wasn't even 2 weeks. So basically you had a period of like, rough almost 2 weeks.
Months.
Huh?
Compared to 2 weeks.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And instead of months, literally just a few days, actually, not even weeks, sorry, a few days. To buy this dip, and this would have been a very nice dip. You would have if you had held it here, and let's say you thought that like, if you just waited for RSI to be above 70, for like a simple metric to see when to get out, you would have made, so you got in here, you would have made you would have doubled your money almost. And if you had just held from here until, let's say, yeah, so like let's say you waited for this big like trend like downward slope to hit somewhere around here, you would have made 160%. So you would have like roughly 1.5x your money. Good shit, right? So yeah, what's happening here, Owen? Tell me. What do you see? Remember, this is the 300 week moving average.
Yeah.
We just saw two examples of the price being under that being a good snipe zone.
Right.
What's happening here?
Looks like it's jumping back up.
Yeah, no,
Kind of hard to tell.
like, but basically, what happened here? We went under the line
Yeah.
for a few days, and then we've been teleporting back up.
It honestly, like, just from my perspective, almost looks like a glitch in the placement of the candles. Is that just because it's shooting straight up?
It's shooting straight up. That's why it looks like that. However, like, let me also be clear. Like, I don't think this, I'm not being like dumb and just saying, oh, ape into this. It's just gonna go up now. Look,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God. What, like, this is clearly a short squeeze. Like,
Okay.
do you know what
So you
you,
don't think it's gonna last?
no. I think we're going up long term, but
Hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if we go under this line again, maybe for like
Okay.
a few more days, maybe even a few more
Sure.
weeks, like who knows. But um I actually it's kind of funny. So I full disclosure, I bought a good amount of Tesla. Where was it? At like I think it was like back here. Yeah, like I bought it like 170, like low 170s here. And I was actually waiting for it to go under 150 to buy, and I don't know what the fuck I was doing these like 3 days. I just didn't buy.
No.
Yeah, I don't know why I just didn't buy, and it just teleported up. Now, like even
Wow.
even like my current position, like I'm in profit, not by a lot, but like currently I'm in profit by like a few bucks. I'm
If you
kind of
had bought there, what would you?
well,
What's the jump?
my average price would have been, instead of like 174, I think, um, would have been like, somewhere in the 160s. So, I'd just be a little bit more up. Like it's fine, like I'm in the boat. I just, obviously just being greedy and would like to add more if possible. But pretty much like obviously this is not financial advice, but what I'm looking into doing is basically just waiting to see if the price just comes back down to under the sign. I guess to me, in my opinion, it might not. It might just like maybe it might just turn this line into a support. Maybe it might just like bounce off of it. Because this looks like this trend might be reverting a little bit, and if we go into this like with the trend being like super down, I feel like we might just do the same thing that we did last time, and we just like spent a few weeks to a few months under it. But I don't think that's likely. I think either way, under this line is a good buying opportunity. That's what I'm trying to say. Even if we were to spend a few weeks to a few months, you're still getting a good price. Like even if you have to wait a month or two, let's say, like you would still expect the price to go up more.
Yeah.
Again, you can be like you can be as bearish as you want, and like for example, if let's say you buy like around here, you could sell it to like 215 if you're like scared. You could sell it like 215 or something like that. Like if you're like so bearish on the stock, but like I think it's silly to not look at this under like the 300 week moving average, and like think it's a buy, especially given that my friend typed in the chat FOMO. um yeah, like uh like it's like I think it's not wise to bet against Elon Musk. And like I don't think that Tesla is just Elon Musk. Like I think I think Elon is an asshole. And but like he's you don't bet against the stocks usually. I think
Yeah.
that's what it seems. Um Not just that, like they're also like trying to play into the AI narratives. They're trying to play into like continue doing like energy plays on top of like their car business. Um, like I said in our last, like the last time we talked, um, I think that the FSD, even though it's still in beta, I was able to try it this month thanks to like the free trial that Tesla gave everyone, and it was just magical. Like it was magical, even though it was really dumb, like 1% or 2% of the time, and like I don't think it's fully ready. It was still magical, and like that's coming, and like there's things that you can build on top of that, and like there's already the supercharging network. There's already like the possibility of like robo taxis, even though I don't think that's coming anytime soon. Like I don't even think we're gonna have that in the next like 2 to 3 years.
When's your sponsorship coming?
Well, I mean, I don't think Tesla does that, but no, yeah, like
Would be nice.
it would be nice, yeah, it would be. No, yeah, like I guess these are kind of the reasons I'm like bullish on
Yeah,
Tesla
I feel like those are
from the
good
charts at
reasons
least.
too. There's a lot of very exciting possibilities in the future for it, so
Yeah,
it's valid reasoning.
yeah. Um, is there anything else you want to look at? That's I think we went through all the stuff that I wanted to look at least, but there's definitely other things we could look at.
Yeah. Um,
What do you
Solana.
what Solana? Okay.
Yes.
In general, what are your thoughts right now, Owen? Like what are you thinking about the market? Like how's the market having you feel right now?
Well, um, it's honestly like my first time being involved in it. So I'm kind of just almost like being on a roller coaster for the first time and you're just kind of like scared shitless and like holding on for dear life. So just kind of waiting to see what happens as we continue through this bull market with Bitcoin and like focusing primarily there, seeing how it goes.
I think that one thing that you've probably learned um in the last like few weeks is how important it is to get in early during the bear market
Yes.
because
My God. Yeah.
like I mean you didn't you didn't have the chance to do that too much like in the last like 2 years and like
Oh,
like it's still a good time to get on like the train's like still moving and we're not going at warp speed yet but
yeah.
like we're in the middle of the bull market roughly
Mm.
speaking like we had the halving like we expect things to go up at some like eventually over time in the next like over the next few months um but we're not early yet like it's not early
Right.
by any like by any means so yeah we're looking at Solana. Let me delete all this crap. So actually we can extend this a little bit. So right now, what is this? This is a me. So this is and two areas that I've been like kind of keeping track of since like 2021.
Mm.
Yeah, like 2021. And they especially this box right here, like these were like kind of areas of I like to call gravity. Um, and then here we kind of like just like ripped through this box, held above it, and then just like went up. And then this was kind of the box where it troubled, like, like above this box, there was trouble. Above this box, there was trouble again. And now here, basically under this box is where we like, price held. And now under this box is where price is. So our sides are looking, uh, are looking pretty low. This might have been the bottom. So actually, one interesting thing to note about altcoins, it seems that altcoins, like Bitcoin's putting in new local like bottoms, but altcoins seem to like have put in their bottoms on April, yeah, like mid-April basically, when like we had that like the previous like big dump that we had, like when altcoins like kind of shit themselves. So Solana, for example, even though it dumped when was this yesterday to like 118, it's still held above like the 116 that like it had placed on April 13th. Will
Mm.
it hold? We got to see. And right now it's not, it's can't, I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking pretty. It's not looking pretty right now. Like the trend is about to change down. We are testing um we're like right above the bull market support bands, even though we don't look at these too much for altcoins, but it's something to keep in mind. um if we look at it, let me look at it with the Vumentries to see what it's also saying. Where is it? So right now, this looks like it's about to print a green dot, which that would be, I'd like to see that personally. Um, this is the stochastic RSI, and it's been correcting down, so might correct a little bit. Like the VWAP seems to be going up. This looks like it might be like a small like red. We might see a little bit of red on the money flow, but I think if Bitcoin is able to recover within the next like few days and few days to maybe like week or two, something like that, this is will probably not matter. Especially given that here like the waves like went way past the boundaries here, and we printed a green dot, and it was a nice pump, even though it didn't really last.
I
But yeah,
remember us talking before about the possibility of it just shooting up like crazy. Do you think that's still a potential?
like what do you mean, like of Solana or like Bitcoin or in
Yeah,
general?
Solana.
Um, well, I think that if anything's gonna start going up like crazy, it might be Bitcoin. Just
Yeah.
if that quote unquote perpetual bid that some expect to come at some point starts showing up. But I think that's something that we might see, in my opinion, in the next bull market. Not that I think flows are gonna be pretty crazy. I don't think we're ready for like the flows that are coming. But um remember, like institutions are just getting in. Like it's not
Yeah.
like like even though it's like big fund managers and stuff are telling their clients, hey, allocate 5%, allocate 20% into Bitcoin, like stuff like that. It's not
Mhm.
gonna like it's gonna happen over time. It's gonna take maybe a few months, maybe it's gonna take a few years. But like I think that there's gonna be a turning point where like the supply crunch of Bitcoin, because remember, Bitcoin in exchanges is very, very low. Like it's been low for
Mhm.
a long time. It's been, it's kind of like a almost a joke at this point, but like it's been going down for a long time. And like there's probably gonna be a moment where supply crunch is gonna hit markets and things are just gonna go up harder than we expect. Um, Money will have been coming in more consistently and in bigger numbers over time from bigger institutions, whether it be like pension funds, sovereign countries, or countries, or like stuff like that. Just like companies in general, like adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets. I think these are things that are just going to keep going, like keep ramping up over time. So I think that the chance that that we experience that crazy like demand is probably
Yeah.
coming. I just don't. I would be shocked if it happens like this year, but I think that there's all, if for example, if models like stock to flow are gonna pan out, for example, as it looks like it's gonna pan out, like in order for us to reach like savage like 300K plus like Bitcoin, like we need, like that kind of demand needs to come in. Like it needs to be something
Yeah.
like we haven't seen either before, or like we haven't seen in a while. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's definitely coming. Like it's like it's these things have been adding up for a long time. It's just like it's I don't think it's coming as soon as people expect it. That doesn't mean that I'm not bullish. I'm very bullish on like crypto and all this stuff. Like we're in a bull market. I don't think we're gonna not be in a bull market soon. I think we're gonna be in a bull market for at least a few months. Probably until next year. Honestly, even if we have like corrections along the way, because we should expect it. Like if you're one of those people that thinks Bitcoin is going to like 200K plus, you should also be ready for like earth shattering corrections.
Mhm.
Like it's just that simple, because otherwise we're just gonna follow like diminishing returns. My friend saying like Bitcoin to 1
1
million.
million end of the year, dude.
No, no. Bitcoin is going to 1 million eventually. That's for sure. But I this year's feels like saying like Bitcoin above I don't even know if we're going to hit above 100K um this year. I think we might. I think we might. But um yeah, like Yeah, yeah, yeah. And end of 2025, easy. Yeah. I think by the end of 2025, we'll probably be starting the bear market. But um, yeah, like basically, we're in a bull market, friends. Stay bullish. Um,
Do.
yeah. Oh, by the way, this is the market cap of Solana. Um,
Okay.
it's it established all-time highs. Um, when was this? On in March, like late March, which in my
Mm.
opinion is actually giga bullish, simply because when we did these all-time highs, we were at way higher prices. We were at like 260. Um, so like the fact that we established all-time highs in terms of market cap, but we didn't establish higher prices, I think that looks pretty good to me. Also, like, you know, let's look at this volume. Like it's a lot more volume than we were seeing, you know, like over the last like several months. So like I think this is bullish. I mean, I think Solana, I don't know if Solana's gonna flip Ethereum this bull market, but I think it's definitely gonna it's the main competitor. I think that's pretty clear at this point. I don't think there's anything else that's gonna um you know sweep Solana. I think that
Think
the
it's
net Mhm.
Do you think it's better to buy into it than Ethereum then?
Not financial advice, but I am personally buying Solana over Ethereum.
Okay.
Um yeah, like it's so much cheaper to use, it so much faster. Like um the network issues that we were having seem to be mostly fixed, and like I know that there's like a big upgrade for the network coming probably in a few months. The Fire Dancer, I think it's called. And the only like potential, I think, like I don't even know if it's like I don't even know if calling it a contender is um like worthwhile, but like you have you heard of Fantom?
Have not.
So Fantom is this EVM compatible chain. Um, do you know what I mean when I say EVM compatible?
Tell
Ethereum.
me.
It's like basically it's compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine, so that means
Okay.
it can like run Ethereum contracts. Um, and they are about to have an upgrade to their network that it's going to allow it to have. I think it's like 2,000 TPS, like transactions per second,
Uh,
um, which is going to make it the closest thing to Solana that we have. That is also EVM compatible, which is pretty cool because Solana is not EVM compatible. Solana had, you know, it's a whole uses a whole different uh language for like its smart contracts. So
okay.
the fact that we're gonna have something that can process transactions at like pretty high, you know, pretty high speeds. Not like not quite as high as Solana, but like, you know, like pretty high up there,
Yeah.
and can also like basically have settlement with the Ethereum network is I think is a pretty promising. Will it overtake Solana? I don't think so. Especially like this coin had like a big issue. At one point, I don't know the full details, but basically, there were a lot of funds that were stolen. I think it was like through some DeFi project. Um, some like multi-bridge, something about stable coins. Like something happened with like stable coins. They depegged, I think, and like
Okay.
people lost a lot of money. There was like people got scared with using Fantom. And actually, if you look at I'm not gonna mention too much of it now because I want to talk about this a little more in our next live stream. But if you look at the TVL, which is the total value locked of the Fantom network, it's garbage. Like it's complete garbage, and that's good. Like that means that if potentially, if this chain is gonna pick up speed or pick up momentum again, and it's also if the network upgrade, which I think should be happening soon if it didn't already happen, if the network upgrade really does bring it up to 2,000 transactions per second, that is like that's probably gonna at the bare minimum, it's gonna bring a lot of money into the its ecosystem. And you know, like bare minimum, you're gonna have like, you know, vaults are gonna start pumping, you know, like TVLs and vaults are gonna start pumping. Like there's gonna be a lot more money. Probably some incentives are gonna come in to like different projects that are running on Fantom. So I am personally looking into getting some Fantom. I am a very long capital. I'm mostly pretty much all deployed in the market, but I am considering swapping out of some Solana into like some Fantom, just
Uh,
to maybe write it up. I'll have a better analysis of Fantom for our next video. But
we
yeah,
should
just
dig into that next time.
yes, basically keep it like keep an eye on Fantom. I think
Okay.
it might be a worthwhile opportunity, especially now that markets have been dumping. You know, like this this might be a buy, you know. Might be a buy.
Think so?
Again, depending on what Bitcoin does. Remember, Bitcoin dominance is up and Bitcoin is leading the market. Bitcoin is dictating the swings. So if Bitcoin swings down, it's going to take the altcoins with it. So it is not altcoin season yet. It's definitely Bitcoin has control over the wheel for the moment.
Along for the ride.
Yeah. But yeah, basically like look into FTM. I'll have a better analysis for the next time we talk. And I think that's it's pretty good for now. Um Thank you, Owen. Um I think that's good enough for today. To
Yeah.
enough alpha shared for our friends.
That's
If
fantastic.
you have any questions, please let us know in the comments. This video should be up on YouTube shortly. It'll be the first one for the channel, so woohoo. And yeah, just I guess my name's Carlos. This is my friend Owen. We're trying to live stream every Wednesday at night. We're still trying to figure out a set time, but expect us around expect us around like 10 p.m. on Wednesdays.
Yeah. Should be
And
good.
also expect us during a surprise time during the week. Usually we're gonna try to at least have another stream um where we go over like some kind of event that's happened, either during the event ideally or after the event, just covering it. Today happened to be a double whammy because we had the FOMC meeting, and it's Wednesday, so
Okay.
we stream on hump day basically.
Yes.
um Having said that, thanks everyone. Catch you in the next one.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Carlos.